The Tale of Two Dads. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is not just a book, it's a financial education manifesto that challenges the conventional wisdom surrounding money, work, and wealth. Robert Kiyosaki tells the story of his upbringing under the guidance of two very different father figures: his biological father, whom he calls his poor dad, and his best friend's father, whom he refers to as his rich dad. Poor dad, a well-educated man who valued job security, a steady paycheck, and working for money. Despite his academic achievements and secure job as a government employee, he struggled financially throughout his life. Rich dad, a man with less formal education but a sharp financial mind. He believed in making money work for you, investing in assets, and achieving financial independence. His approach to money allowed him to build a significant fortune over time. Kiyosaki contrasts these two mindsets throughout the book, using them to illustrate the different approaches to money that can lead to either financial struggle or financial success. The book is divided into several key lessons, each of which represents a fundamental shift in how we think about money. The rich don't work for money. The first major lesson in Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a concept that seems counterintuitive. The rich don't work for money. Kiyosaki explains that most people are trapped in the rat race because they work for money, relying on a paycheck to meet their daily needs. This is the mentality of the poor dad, who believed in securing a good job and working hard for a steady income. The fear and greed cycle. Poor dad's approach is driven by fear and greed. Fear of not having enough money, which leads people to work hard for a paycheck, and greed, which leads them to spend that money on liabilities that don't contribute to their wealth. This creates a vicious cycle where individuals work harder and harder, but never truly achieve financial freedom. Rich Dad, on the other hand, taught Kiyosaki to break free from this cycle by understanding that working for money isn't the path to wealth. Instead, the rich focus on acquiring assets, investments that generate income without requiring constant labor. The importance of financial independence. Financial independence means having enough income from investments, businesses, and other assets that you don't have to rely on a paycheck to live. Rich Dad's philosophy was that money should work for you, not the other way around. He encouraged Kiyosaki to think like an investor and entrepreneur, seeking opportunities to generate passive income through assets. Understanding the role of risk. Rich Dad also emphasized that the rich understand and embrace risk rather than fearing it, while Poor Dad believed in job security and avoiding financial risks. Rich Dad knew that calculated risks are essential for building wealth. He taught Kiyosaki that avoiding risk altogether often leads to missed opportunities and financial stagnation. The importance of financial literacy. One of the central themes of Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the importance of financial literacy. According to Kiyosaki, financial education is crucial for achieving financial success, yet it's often neglected in traditional education systems. While Poor Dad valued academic achievements and the steady job, Rich Dad understood that financial literacy is what truly sets the wealthy apart from the rest. The difference between assets and liabilities. At the core of financial literacy is understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. Kiyosaki defines an asset as anything that puts money in your pocket, while a liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Assets. These include things like real estate, stocks, bonds, intellectual property, and businesses that generate passive income. The rich focus on acquiring assets that grow in value over time and produce cash flow. Liabilities. These include expenses such as mortgages, car loans, credit card debt, and other obligations that drain your finances. Poor Dad, like many middle-class people, believed that owning a home was an asset, but Kiyosaki argues that unless your home generates income, it's actually a liability. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that the key to wealth is building a portfolio of assets that grow over time, while minimizing liabilities. This principle is often misunderstood, leading many people to invest in liabilities, thinking they are assets, which ultimately keeps them in financial struggle. The role of cash flow. Cash flow is the lifeblood of financial independence. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki to always focus on generating positive cash flow from assets. This means that your assets should produce more income than your expenses, creating a surplus that can be reinvested into more assets. Poor Dad's approach to finances was income-based. Work hard, earn a paycheck, and pay your bills. However, this approach often leads to living paycheck to paycheck without accumulating wealth. Rich Dad's approach was to focus on acquiring assets that produce cash flow, allowing him to reinvest and grow his wealth exponentially. The importance of understanding financial statements. Financial literacy also involves understanding financial statements such as income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements. These documents provide a clear picture of your financial health, showing where your money comes from and where it goes. Rich Dad emphasized that the wealthy know how to read and interpret financial statements, enabling them to make informed decisions about investments, taxes, and expenses. Poor Dad, on the other hand, relied on others, such as accountants and financial advisors, to manage his finances, which limited his understanding and control over his money. Mind your own business. Another key lesson from Rich Dad Poor Dad is the importance of minding your own business. This doesn't mean starting a company, although it can, but rather focusing on building and managing your own wealth instead of just working for someone else. Don't rely solely on a job. Poor Dad's advice to Kiyosaki was to get a good education, find a secure job, and climb the corporate ladder. This is the traditional path that many follow, believing that a stable job is the key to financial security. However, Rich Dad argued that relying solely on a job is risky because your financial well-being is tied to someone else's business. Rich Dad encouraged Kiyosaki to mind his own business by investing in assets and creating multiple streams of income. This way, even if he lost his job, his financial future wouldn't be jeopardized. Building a portfolio of assets. Rich Dad's version of minding your own business involved building a portfolio of assets that generate income. This includes owning rental properties, investing in stocks and bonds, starting businesses, and creating intellectual property such as books or patents. By focusing on building his own wealth through assets, rather than just working for a paycheck, Kiyosaki learned to achieve financial independence. This is the essence of minding your own business. It's about taking control of your financial destiny by investing in income-generating assets. The trap of the rat race. The rat race is a concept that Kiyosaki uses to describe the endless cycle of working for money, paying bills, and never getting ahead financially. Poor Dad, like many people, was stuck in this cycle, constantly working to pay off debts and maintain his standard of living. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that the way out of the rat race is to focus on building assets that generate passive income. This allows you to escape the cycle of dependency on a paycheck and start building real wealth. The goal is to have your assets generate enough income to cover your living expenses, so you no longer have to work just to make ends meet. The history of taxes and the power of corporations. Kiyosaki also delves into the history of taxes and how the rich use corporations to protect their wealth and minimize taxes. This lesson highlights the importance of understanding the tax system and using it to your advantage. The origins of taxes. Taxes have been around for centuries, but the way they're levied has evolved over time. Initially, taxes were temporary, measures imposed during times of war or crisis. But over time, they became permanent fixtures in society. Poor Dad believed in paying taxes as a civic duty, but he didn't fully understand how taxes impacted his financial situation. Rich Dad, on the other hand, understood that taxes disproportionately affect the poor and middle class because they primarily tax earned income, wages from a job. The wealthy, however, often earn their income through investments and businesses, which are taxed at lower rates or can be structured to minimize taxes. The advantage of corporations. One of the key strategies that the rich use to minimize taxes is through corporations. A corporation is a legal entity that can own assets, generate income, and pay expenses. By using corporations, the rich can legally reduce their tax burden by paying for many expenses with pre-tax dollars. For example, a business owner can pay for things like travel, entertainment, and even certain types of housing through their corporation, reducing their taxable income. Poor Dad, who worked as an employee, didn't have access to these benefits, which limited his ability to minimize taxes. Understanding the tax code. Rich Dad emphasized that understanding the tax code is crucial for building and protecting wealth. The wealthy invest time and resources in learning about taxes and hiring experts to help them navigate the system. This allows them to take advantage of legal tax loopholes and strategies that reduce their tax liability. Kiyosaki learned that by using corporations and understanding the tax code, he could protect his wealth and keep more of his earnings. This lesson underscores the importance of financial education and the need to understand the rules of the game if you want to succeed. The rich invent money. In Rich Dad Poor Dad, Kiyosaki explains that the rich don't wait for opportunities, they create them. This lesson is about the importance of creativity, entrepreneurship, and taking calculated risks to build wealth. The power of financial imagination. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that wealth creation is often a result of financial imagination, the ability to see opportunities where others see obstacles. This might mean recognizing undervalued properties, identifying emerging markets, or creating new products or services that meet a demand. Poor Dad, like many people, believed in playing it safe and sticking to what he knew. This mindset often leads to missed opportunities because it's based on fear and a lack of confidence in one's abilities. Rich Dad encouraged Kiyosaki to think creatively and take risks, knowing that this is how wealth is generated. Understanding market trends. The rich also understand market trends and use this knowledge to their advantage. They keep an eye on economic indicators, consumer behavior, and technological advancements to identify opportunities for investment. Whether it's real estate, stocks, or starting a business, the rich are always looking for ways to capitalize on trends. Kiyosaki learned that by staying informed and being proactive, he could position himself to take advantage of market opportunities. This lesson emphasizes the importance of continuous learning and staying ahead of the curve. The importance of taking action. One of the most significant differences between the rich and the poor is that the rich take action. They don't just talk about their ideas or dream of what could be. They make things happen. This involves taking calculated risks, making investments, and learning from failures. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that failure is not something to fear, but rather a learning experience that brings you closer to success. Poor Dad, on the other hand, feared failure and avoided taking risks, which limited his financial growth. Kiyosaki's lesson here is clear. To build wealth, you must be willing to take action, embrace failure, and learn from your mistakes. The rich aren't afraid to invent money by creating opportunities where others see none. Work to learn, don't work for money. Another profound lesson from Rich Dad Poor Dad is the idea that you should work to learn, not just to earn money. This lesson emphasizes the importance of acquiring diverse skills and knowledge to increase your value and opportunities for wealth creation. The value of diverse skills. Poor Dad encouraged Kiyosaki to specialize in one field and climb the corporate ladder. This is a common path that many people follow, believing that specialization leads to higher pay and job security. However, Rich Dad argued that this approach can be limiting. The importance of sales and marketing, one of the most valuable skills that Rich Dad encouraged Kiyosaki to learn was sales and marketing. Whether you're selling a product, an idea, or yourself, understanding how to communicate value and persuade others is crucial in business. Rich Dad believed that it's more important to develop a broad range of skills, such as sales, marketing, management, and investing. These skills are transferable across different industries and can open up a variety of opportunities for wealth creation. By learning a little about a lot, you become more adaptable and better equipped to seize opportunities. Poor Dad, like many people, saw sales as a low-status job and discouraged Kiyosaki from pursuing it. However, Rich Dad knew that sales skills are essential for success in almost any field. Kiyosaki learned that by mastering sales and marketing, he could better promote his ideas, attract investors, and close deals. Learning from real-world experience. Rich Dad also emphasized the importance of learning from real-world experience rather than just formal education. While Poor Dad valued academic achievements and credentials, Rich Dad believed that true education comes from practical experience. Kiyosaki learned that working in different roles, starting businesses, and making investments were the best ways to gain the knowledge and skills he needed to succeed. This hands-on approach to learning allowed him to develop a deep understanding of how money works and how to create wealth. Overcoming obstacles. The final lesson in Rich Dad Poor Dad is about overcoming the obstacles that prevent people from achieving financial success. These obstacles include fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance. The key is to acknowledge your fear, but not let it stop you from pursuing your goals. This might mean starting small, taking calculated risks, and building confidence over time. Conquering cynicism, or the tendency to distrust others' motives and expect negative outcomes, is another obstacle too. Wealth creation. Poor Dad was often cynical about opportunities, believing that they were too good to be true or that they were scams. Rich Dad, however, taught Kiyosaki to approach opportunities with an open mind, but also to do his due diligence by researching and learning about potential investments. Kiyosaki could make informed decisions rather than letting cynicism prevent him from taking action. Overcoming laziness. Laziness is a subtle but powerful obstacle that can prevent you from achieving financial success. Poor Dad's approach to work was to avoid anything that required too much effort, preferring the comfort of job security and the steady paycheck. Rich Dad, on the other hand, knew that building wealth requires hard work, especially in the beginning. He taught Kiyosaki that discipline and persistence are essential for overcoming laziness. By staying focused on his goals and consistently taking action, Kiyosaki learned to push through the challenges and achieve success. Breaking bad habits such as procrastination, overspending, and avoiding responsibility, can also hinder financial success. Poor Dad had habits that kept him in financial struggle, such as living beyond his means and avoiding financial education. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki to develop good financial habits, such as saving and investing regularly, living within his means, and continuously educating himself. By replacing bad habits with positive ones, Kiyosaki was able to build and maintain his wealth over time, overcoming arrogance. Finally, arrogance can be a significant obstacle to financial success. Poor Dad often believed that he knew everything he needed to know, which closed him off to new opportunities and ideas. Rich Dad, however, understood that humility and a willingness to learn are essential for success. Kiyosaki learned that by staying open to new ideas, seeking out mentors, and continuously learning, he could avoid the pitfalls of arrogance and continue to grow his wealth. The Road to Financial Freedom, Rich Dad Poor Dad, is a powerful book that challenges conventional wisdom about money and offers a new perspective on achieving financial success through the contrasting lessons of his two father figures. Robert Kiyosaki learned that the path to wealth is not about working harder or getting a better education, but about understanding how money works, acquiring assets, and taking control of your financial future. Key takeaways: financial independence. The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them by acquiring assets that generate income. Financial literacy. Understanding the difference between assets and liabilities and knowing how to read financial statements is crucial for building wealth. Entrepreneurship. Minding your own business means focusing on building and managing your own wealth rather than just working for someone else. Tax strategies. The rich use corporations and understand the tax code to protect their wealth and minimize taxes. Creativity and action. Wealth is created through imagination, entrepreneurship, and taking calculated risks. Continuous learning. Working to learn, not just to earn, is essential for increasing your value and opportunities for wealth creation. Overcoming obstacles. Success requires overcoming fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance. A final word of encouragement. The journey to financial freedom is not easy, but it's possible. For anyone willing to learn, take action, and persevere. By applying the lessons from Rich Dad Poor Dad, you can start building a solid financial foundation, escape the rat race, and achieve the financial independence you desire. Remember, wealth isn't just about money, it's about the freedom to live life on your own terms.